Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to completely rethink everything you thought you knew about the Achaemenid Empire. For centuries, our whole perception of ancient Persia has been heavily filtered through Hollywood blockbusters and, well, the pretty dramatic myths spun by their ancient rivals, the Greeks. Because of that, we tend to picture chaotic harems, ruthless tyrants, and these massive monuments built to the cracking whips of slave drivers. But what if the reality was something entirely different? What if, instead, this was actually a highly organized and shockingly progressive society?
Here's our roadmap for it today. We'll start with the ancient slavery myth, then dive into the secrets of the clay tablets, check out their systems for maternity leave and equal pay, explore engineering the megacity, and finally, take a look at the Gate of All Nations.
All right, Part 1. The ancient slavery myth, or as I like to call it, Hollywood versus history.
For centuries, the story of ancient Persia was totally hijacked by classical Greek accounts. And let's be honest, this was basically ancient propaganda. Writers like Ctesias and Plutarch, they lived in a world of constant warfare with the Persians, and their politically motivated writings absolutely reflected that. They painted these wild pictures of chaotic harems and endless armies of slave labor. But modern archaeology unearthed something completely different. We found the native Elamite administrative records. No propaganda here, just undeniable, hard proof of paid workers, highly codified legal rights, and meticulously detailed financial accounting.
Moving right along to Part 2, Secrets of the Clay Tablets, basically the HR database of antiquity.
So the real smoking gun here, the Persepolis fortification tablets. Honestly, at first glance, they just look like dull, boring little lumps of clay. But incredibly, these lumps acted as the comprehensive administrative, human resources, and payroll database for the entire Achaemenid Empire. They definitively prove that the architects, the engineers, and the general laborers who built the magnificent palaces of Persepolis absolutely weren't in chains. They were operating on a highly organized legal and wage system, getting compensated in both cash and goods. No chains, just paychecks.
Which brings us to Part 3, Maternity Leave and Equal Pay. Let's unearth Tablet PF 1209. Okay, so what did this payroll actually look like on the ground? Well, try this on for size. 2 times. The tablets reveal that not only did women work side by side with men in many of the empire's industrial workshops, but female workshop managers were literally earning double the wages of their standard male counterparts. This was an absolutely unprecedented recognition of female leadership in the ancient workforce. It went way beyond simple equal pay. It was an entire system formally rewarding female management and expertise.
And it wasn't just about base wages either. Tablet PF 1209 is a total mind-blower. This single piece of clay documents the exact distribution of wine and weed specifically given out to new mothers. Yeah, you heard that right. We are looking at codified maternity leave and a robust welfare system, explicitly laid out in writing over 2.5 millennia ago.
When you really dig into this compensation structure, it feels like you're looking at a modern corporate policy. You've got female managers earning double, sure, but think about the childbirth bonuses. 2 bonus portions of wheat or wine for a baby boy, 1 for a girl. These were literally incentives paid out while a mother recovered. And what about royal women like Queen Atossa or Artistone? They certainly weren't locked away in some harem as the Greek myths suggest. The records show they possessed their own official seals, managed massive, independent agricultural estates, and even ran their own financial courts. They wielded immense, heavily documented economic power.
Next up, Part 4, Engineering the Megacity. Let's see what paid labor actually built.
So, what happens when you have a respected, legally protected, and fairly paid workforce? You get hyper-advanced engineering marvels. The builders of Persepolis designed massive subterranean drainage networks that functioned as the hidden, physical blueprints of the empire. They used incredibly advanced waterproofing techniques and sophisticated water pressure systems that would totally baffle later generations. The sheer scale and precision of these public works required highly motivated, specialized, and dedicated professionals. This was driven by pure skill, not slave labor.
Finally, Part 5, the Gate of All Nations, the macro view of Persepolis. All of this incredible compensated labor culminated in jaw-dropping monuments like the Gate of All Nations. There's this amazing inscription right on the structure that just perfectly captures the philosophy behind it. It reads, "I am Xerxes, the great king. By the grace of Ahura Mazda, I built this Gate of All Nations." Guarded by these massive Assyrian-inspired winged bulls with human heads, the trilingual inscription, written in Old Persian, Elamite, and Babylonian, underscores a deeply multicultural reality. It was an inclusive statement, welcoming representatives of the 28 different nations under the empire's umbrella, and it was built by the hands of fairly compensated workers from across those very nations.
So, looking at all this evidence, the fortification tablets, the wage scales, the breathtaking engineering triumphs, we are left with a pretty powerful thought to chew on. If an ancient empire managed to provide paid maternity leave, childbirth bonuses, and double wages for female managers 2,500 years ago, what exactly does that say about our modern struggles for workplace equality? Perhaps these concepts aren't just modern progressive inventions, but rather fundamental markers of a truly advanced civilization. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.